very excited that we have Dan Auerbach in the studio right now. Now, Dan, of course, you know, as one half of the Black Keys, but he's got a new record out on his own called Keep It Hid. It came out literally a couple weeks ago, and Dan's been around doing some shows, and he's here with Dante from the band Hacienda as well. Dan, good to have you back, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Man, you've been really busy from the time that you finished. I mean, you were just recently finished touring for Attack and Release, right? And
yeah,
then
I don't think we've actually stopped. I mean, we still have some. We're going to do Coachella, and so it's ongoing.
you're going to continue to tour, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Coachella.
Continue to tour, record. So yeah, it's nonstop.
How long have you been working on songs for the solo record?
A couple of years. Some of the songs, 2 of the songs are older, like 3 years old. But when I decided I was going to do a record, I think in the last year I pulled it all together and really focused on it.
Yeah, I read that you actually enlisted some family members as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, my family is musical, and they sort of the ones who taught me how to play music and play guitar and sing. So I had my uncle play guitar, and he helped me write the first song, the one we played today, Trouble Ways of Time. And my dad's a songwriter, so I actually recorded one of his songs, and that's on the record. So.
And Dan, tell me about your uncle and your dad and the kind of music that they're into. Were they into a rootsy kind of rock thing? Or
No,
folk?
my dad listened to rock and roll. He listened to Stax Records and 60s rock, and that was his generation. He lived down in San Francisco and would go to Fillmore and see shows. So having Beatles, Revolver turned up really loud in my house was not an unusual thing. Or the Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore. And then my mom's side of the family they all play bluegrass. She's got a large family. So my Uncle Jim, when I was growing up, whenever I saw him, he'd usually have a guitar in his hand. He'd be singing harmony with someone. So that's sort of how I grew up.
That's very cool, by the way. Now, how young were you when you started getting out and playing?
Well, I was really shy when I first started. I was 15 or 16. I didn't really want to get in front of people and sing or anything like that. So it took me a while. So I think I started playing music when I was 14 or 15, and I didn't really get on stage till I was 18 or 19.
Were you writing at that point, Dan, or were they covers that you were doing?
I was doing a lot of covers. I was playing bars around town when I started getting on stage. Right before the Black Keys took off, I was making a living playing music locally. So I was playing like 3-hour gigs, 5 nights a week.
And what kind of songs were you playing?
Well, I play some originals, and I play some covers, and there'd be like country songs or old blues songs that I would just rework. And most of the stuff I was doing, I was just kind of copying old songs and redoing them or something. I didn't really know what that was.
But you were having a good time.
It's nice
and
to
like
get the encouragement from the family, though. That's great.
yeah, and you were supporting yourself at that point too, which was
I was.
cool.
Well, the thing was, they let me drop out of college, but I couldn't just sit in my room and eat Cheetos and play music. I had to actually go out and make a living. So.
And it worked out well, so aren't you glad that they gave you that push and worked with you on that, right? It's Dan Auerbach in the studio right now, of course, and you know him as one half of the Black Keys. And tell us about Dante from Hacienda, who's next to you. They're a band from San Antonio, Texas. You actually produced their new record. I heard it when I was out in L.A. for the Grammy. Somebody played me some tracks, Leslie and I both.
Yeah, it's great.
And we loved what we heard. Tell me how you hooked up with these guys and Dante was going to play with you in a minute.
Black Keys were on tour, and they gave me a demo, and that was like 3 years ago or something like that, and it just really blew me away. I thought it was great. These weird, like little quirky pop songs, and they recorded them all themselves, and these weird harmonies. You could tell that they loved the Beach Boys and the Beatles and stuff like that, but it didn't sound like they were just trying to rip it off. They were doing their own thing. So when I finally had my studio all put together, I got back in touch with them and had them come up, and we did a record, and I think they cut the record in like a week, and it turned out great. So
It has a very classic sound to it. We'll have to play that for our audience in the coming days. Dan, you're going to play this song for us right now. Tell us about this song, Trouble Ways of Time. You wrote this with your uncle.
Yeah, well, I wrote the words, and then I gave them to my uncle when he came up to Akron for a little recording session. And, I pretty much just said, these are the words. I've got some guitar parts, but they're not really moving me. So he took it, and he just came up with the arrangement and the melody line, basically. So it's his arrangement of the tune I wrote.
Very cool. Now, this is a track from Dan Auerbach's new record, Keep It Hid. And it's right here live in the studio at 1019 RXP.
What's wrong, dear brother? Have you lost your faith? Don't you remember a better place? Leaders and things have done you in, like the setting sun. Oh, dear brother, trouble weighs a ton. What's wrong, dear sister? Did your word fall down? Did men misuse you and push you around? Same story, dear, year after year, pathetic men run. Oh, dear sister, trouble weighs a ton. Trouble in the air, trouble all I see. Does anybody care? Trouble killing me, oh, it's killing me. What's wrong, dear mother? Your child disobeyed, left you hurting so many ways. What once was sweet is sorrow and grief that cannot be undone. Oh, dear mother, trouble weighs a ton. Oh, dear mother, trouble weighs a ton.
1019 RSP. Sounds great. Dan Auerbach live in the studio. Trouble Weighs a Ton. Track from the new album, Keep It Hid, which is out in stores and online. Dan, stuff sounds great. Really is a great song.
Dan, who else is playing with you tonight and tomorrow night?
We got a band opening up from Murfreesboro, Tennessee called Those Darlings, and Hacienda will be going on after them, and then we go on, and we had a drummer who played on the record with us named Bob Caesar, and he was all ready to go on tour with us, and 4 days before we left for tour, his mother-in-law passed away. So we were fortunate enough to get Patrick from My Morning Jacket to fill in, and he's been really great in the clutch.
Really cool. It's great. It's
Yeah.
good to have good friends, you know, come through when it comes to that, right? Absolutely. Well, the record sounds great, and I wanted to let everybody know again. Tonight, the show is at the Music Hall of Williamsburg in Brooklyn, and tomorrow at the Bowery Ballroom right down here in Bowery.
And the snow should be over
Oh, yeah. We'll
plenty
stop.
early.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop anyone from coming out tonight. Just want to remind people.
Hey, listen, you can't stop. You know, you can't stop the love when you want to see some great rock or see some great music. You
Yeah,
know
the
what I mean?
CD is just, the CD's amazing.